regular.
I guess it's regular. We don't got no theme for the song. I can't remix 16.
You should do something with a war song.
16, no, shouldn't have to feel like this. I'm 16, all of your
Milk and cookies fighting battles.
Hey, there you go. That's it. That's a good one. I'm a survivor.
That is.
Hey, that should be this
We Okay, look at this is how the Lord works. Come on. Yes. We need some we should wear the name.
Girl, I'm still looking like Nelly. I am number one.
We ready. We ready.
Put them up.
We ready for y'all. We ready.
Milk and cookies in the
We
building.
ready.
We fighting every
We
day.
ready
Whoa.
for y'all.
Put 'em up.
Okay, yes.
And cut.
And cut. And sip. So first of all, welcome back to our channel. It's your girl Jerisha,
I'm Marisha.
and this is the Milk and Cookies show channel, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna jump right in it today. I feel like we need to pray before this happens. Just before it happens. I just feel that.
Lead us to the throne.
Lord, let this go forth the way it needs to go forth. Lord, whoever is watching this, just let them hear you, receive it, and understand it. I rebuke and I bind Satan tactics to hinder this word from going forth. And I ask that you touch every viewer that's watching and let them see the truth of God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
And this series was basically, we want to let y'all know how the enemy, how Satan attacks us, and how he influences and just use different things to get us away from God. And so it is a battle, and that's why we were singing "We Ready" at the beginning, because it is, and we want to expose him and let y'all know what he's been doing to us and still doing to us forever. And so yeah, we're gonna jump right in. This first video is about dealing with sin and kind of explaining what the origin is and what spiritual warfare is and all that stuff. So, spiritual warfare, basically, it is how sin, how we are in constant battle or enmity between us and the devil. So, backstory. You know you gotta explain and break it down. So if you go all the way back, bring it back like DJ Unk, to the garden, we got Eve, we got the foolery Satan, and we got Adam. Okay, y'all know the story. Adam, my girl. I mean, not my girl. Eve, my girl, she fell. She got deceived. She knew better, but she didn't do better. Mm-hmm. And ate of the apple, got deceived by Satan. God was like, oh no. So he punished or disciplined all of us. I mean, Adam and Eve and Satan because of sin. So in the scripture, God said, I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between you and your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. So basically, God said, since all of y'all did this, I'm going to put war and opposition between human beings and Satan for the rest of the time until he come back and get us. So enmity is basically just opposition and like strong hate for something or someone. And I don't know about you, I definitely strongly hate Satan, and he definitely hate us. So, and that's where spiritual warfare began. So the battle between God's children and him constantly. And that's what sin was birthed. Was birthed through eating the apple, and how Satan introduced sin into this perfect harmony place of the garden and infiltrated with that buffoonery. So that's kind of the background what spiritual warfare is. Next point is what sin does to you.
Whole bunch.
What it do, sis?
So the old saints, the seasoned saints, I mean to say, they would say, sin takes you further than you want to go and keeps you longer than you want to be kept.
Literally.
And that's legit what sin does. It separates you from the promises of God from you from the blessings of God, you from fulfilling purpose of God, and just keeps you in an ongoing cycle.
And also keeps you from experiencing his love in the fullness that he has it for you. And God broke it down like this, like it doesn't. So you know how when people be like, sin separates you from God, like he's not saying I'm not loving you no more. Like he don't say
nothing can separate.
Nothing can separate from him loving us, but it separates us from accessing the fullness of his love. It's almost like a roadblock. Like, and on this side is God's love and fullness, and then us and sin over here. I mean, and us over here, and sin is the roadblock. Like, nope, not gonna do that. Not can't get there. And so we gotta like force our way or find our way until we find his light somewhere in that roadblock to get us through it or move it. So it just hinders us from, like she said, purpose, his love, and all the things that God has for us, and keeps us from that. So, and that's not fun.
It's not. And it just feeds into other areas of your life that could be good, but it just taints it all.
Yes. So, yes. It takes good desires.
And just taints it.
Real feelings. Like, we really could feel, like, have a real feeling, and we try to find things to feel that feel. Like, some of us might be feeling voids or insecurities, and we don't want to feel that hurt no more, but we do something that we know we shouldn't be doing just to feel that. It is a real feeling, and we won't want to feel like that, but we take these sins that has comforted us. That's what I have learned. Sin is very comforting. Very
can seem very comforting.
Yes, this deception, and it's pleasurable. It feels good. It just feels good in the moment. But that's the thing about sin. It's only temporary. It's only a temporary feeling. And because after that little moment is over, that's when it all comes crashing down. And that's what the devil does. He will not show you the long term or all the consequences. He might give you one. He might give you a couple of consequences, but he'll numb it down real little and be like, you'll be out. Lord, thank you. That's what he did to Eve. That's what he did to Eve. He was like, God just gonna know that you gonna know a lot more stuff. It ain't that big of a deal. No, look what one decision wiped out a whole mankind, and now we all struggling.
I could smell about what spiritual warfare is and how it can affect you and how it does affect you. Well, with sin, after you do it for so long, like when she was talking about you feeling a void, after you use something that isn't really pleasing to God, that you know is deep down inside, you know it's probably something that's not healthy, but you find comfort in it, that temporary high that she was speaking on. Once you do a sin for so long, you become immune to it, of knowing and caring that it's a sin, due to the fact that it's now a habit. So when you become immune to something that you know just wasn't the best fit for you at the beginning of time, that means it has just now genuinely become a natural habit for you. And when you get to that point, that's danger zone. Yeah. Because if I can't see my wrong, when I first started this thing, I knew it wasn't the best choice. I knew something about it wasn't right. But because I was dealing with some insecurities, because I was dealing with some loneliness, because I was dealing with, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, I just needed something to do a quick fix. And now it became a everyday fix for me. And it is what it is. And it's scary to be at that point, because some people who get to that point, especially people who are believers in God, and they used to be real on fire for Christ, but then all of a sudden they kind of drift off. It's real dangerous to get to that point, because then you start condemnation to come in, and shame and guilt will come in, and then a whole bunch of other spirits to come in, and you'll feel like you never can get back to the place where you used to be, and then sin will just give you this illusion that you're not worthy to come back to the place where you used to be, and it'll give you this illusion that you might as well not even go to church anymore, baby. When we get to that point, because the devil can really throw you off spiritually, having you in this battle in your mind, in this war zone, thinking that it's over for you. You have lost. You don't have no more victory, honey, because you gave it up. You gave it to me, and this is what I gave you in return.
Sometimes sin, like if you dealing with sin, this specific sin over and over, and you have overcame, but then the enemy will present moments to you, and we'll drag out those moments continuously, where that moment of sin, you overcame that struggle, but then you failed. And it was that moment of sin, but you're strong enough to get back up, but the enemy will make you feel like it is this long thing when it was that moment. You just didn't win that moment. And so we have to be careful of moments where we have kind of start working on this sin and working on releasing this to God, and when we have our moments versus when we just flat out immune and ain't giving a cahoots about what we doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it hinders you from hearing God. Sin hinders you from hearing God and understanding it, and it just blocks. It's a roadblock. It's a blockage.
Definitely a block, and it's just deception. It just deceives you into thinking this is your reality when it's not.
Yeah.
It throws you off from seeing God's view of you.
Oh God.
And it throws you off from seeing. It throws you off from being able to see the world through God's lens. Yeah. And it makes you think that this condemnation, this other stuff is the way of life, and that's your reality, when it's really not. It knocks you out of being in communion and in relationship with God, and it puts you into a spider web of entanglement with a whole bunch of other things, and it tries to connect your soul to so many other stuff that's toxic, and so they can have you confused, have you stuck, and just torment you and have you in a cycle. Just keep you in this cycle. And I remember a preacher saying a lot of people be expecting the devil to show up in their life in the form of, the animation pictures with the horns and the tail, or we thinking the devil show up in the ways of these horror movies with, possessions and stuff, when really his main tactic is just keeping people in a cycle. He don't got to do all that real scary stuff to the eye. He just comes in your everyday life. Yeah. Spiritual warfare. He just coming in your everyday life, in your everyday moments that you don't even think that anything above you in the spiritual realm is happening. But it is. And he just comes in those moments, dropping seeds, and he just forming you in the web. It's kind of like as if you had a bad Spider-Man, and he just going around getting everybody like this, and he just connecting you to all this bad stuff and holding you hostage and just keeping you there. That's his main tactic, is to keep you stagnant in one area, and just add on other stuff, bringing it to you, and you not go nowhere. That's the main tactic of him. That's what sin does. And when you talk about spiritual warfare, we got to understand that spiritually, what is happening, that's another realm. There's more to life than what you see through your natural eyes. We have to understand what spiritual warfare that entails. There's things that we can't see with a natural eye. There's a whole nother life happening around you.
Because we are spiritual beings.
With spiritual beings.
Earthly experience. We are more spiritual than physical. We just don't understand it that way. Yes. And when you don't have God, you definitely not going to understand that. You're going to think you fighting people, but you fighting spirits.
Yes, because that's a whole nother world. Just picture it like a whole nother movie. It's like a movie. Yeah. It's like a whole nother world happening up here in the atmosphere that we just don't get to see. And it's legit things attacking you that you don't even notice. I think if people could actually see what was happening up there and see the devil following them, going to work, following you into the grocery store, we'll be running to the Lord quicker than the mud. Yeah. If you could literally see it.
And you can see it, but you gotta have a relationship that the Holy Spirit, that's what the Holy Spirit do. Reveal things to you that your natural eye cannot comprehend.
There you go. That's good. That your natural eye would not see.
You can't do that logically. You cannot do that humanistically. You have to have the Holy Spirit to reveal that thing to you.
That's why he sent it as a comforter to guide you, because he know we don't always see what's happening up here. So he's telling you, don't go there, don't watch this, don't do that. because he knows what's happening
On the other
there
side.
on the other side that you don't see.
But yeah, this is gonna be a good series. It's gonna be very good, and hopefully through us, a lot of these things we talk about is me and us struggling now, and learning this now and processing through it. And so, as we are being free, I hope y'all are being free and just expose how the devil just get us and just. Yeah, but we are overcome. We have overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And this is how God encourages me. You might be struggling with this, but this is how you overcome it, by my word and by telling other people. And so by us explaining this to y'all and sharing this with y'all, we are defeating the devil with our words and with in this warfare. So that's why you can't be afraid of sharing your testimony, because that's what he wants you to do. Keep it inside. But anyway, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you all will stick around and listen to the rest of it.
Yay!
26. Yeah, 26 at war. I finna say 2016 on the block.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't let the devil let you catch you out here slipping, man.
Be baby Creed to the devil. KO. Bye, y'all.
Bye.